ability and playmaking ability. It's one for the ages, man. Appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. Please do appreciate it, because I don't know the next time you'll be able to see it. This is something very, very special that's going on with this kid. An update. We got to give you an update on the situation with the two Atlanta Hawks players that were actually arrested in New York City during a stabbing of Indiana Pacers forward Chris Copeland. I think I got something wrong yesterday too, because what I read today was that the guy who actually stabbed Chris Copeland, his girlfriend, he actually stabbed his own girlfriend because she's the one that tried to intervene. I was giving Chris Copeland's girlfriend a lot of credit for stepping in and trying to. But
they said she did get stabbed, right?
Yeah, but she wasn't the one that was trying to disarm the knife wielding gentleman. His girlfriend, from what I read today, was the one who in fact was trying to disarm him in calm the situation. He just went on ahead and jugged her too. So, oh God, bruh, come on, dog, where we at? But the big news is, tape came out. And I want to read you guys exactly what was, because there's some things as far as proximity of the actual incident, if I can get out of my mouth, of the actual incident that went down. For those of you who don't know, Thabo Sefolosha and Pero and Teach were both charged separately for basically what am I trying to look for?
Interfering with the investigation.
Obstructing the crime scene and not allowing the police to tape off the crime scene. But as is pretty much par for the course now, guess what? Tape comes out. Somebody's recording something at all time. Please believe it, Mr. Policeman. Here's the other weird thing about it too. Chris Copeland apologized basically for being stabbed. You don't nobody no apology, bruh. You don't nobody no apology. You're a grown man. You have a right to be in that club.
Just live.
Right.
Just live, dog.
It's 4:00 in the morning. Yeah, you may feel some kind of way that you was out that late, but guess what? You was in a real establishment, and it wasn't like you was in somebody's fake little after hours club. You was in a real
on the block.
Right. You was in a real club in a real place, enjoying yourself, and some dude wanted to act a fool and pull out a switchblade like it's 1960 or something. All right. The dude's name that I'm referring to, Chavoy Bleary Murdoch, who after an argument stabbed Copeland, Saltara, which is Copeland's girlfriend, Katrine Saltara, and his own girlfriend, who was frantically trying to intervene. So, yeah, I think I got that wrong yesterday, that he actually stabbed his own old lady. God, bruh. Like, what's really happening? You know what I mean? But here's the part I want to kind of tell you guys about. I want to first read you guys what was said in the police report. Okay. It says, quote, officers 6 times asked Antich and Sefolosha to clear the area to establish a crime scene before they were arrested. The report states the two moved a couple of feet away. That's important. Listen to that. Moved a couple of feet away, but did not clear the area. According to the report, Sefolosha then charged the officer in an aggressive manner. Police officer John Paul Giancona wrote,
Giancarlo.
No, not the baseball player. Giancona. He wrote, quote, when I approached the defendant to place him under arrest for the above described conduct, I observed the defendant flail his arms, twist his body, kick his legs, and struggle against me, making it difficult for me to place handcuffs on him and complete the arrest. It took 4 officers to place the defendant in handcuffs, end quote. Okay, now, this is, who's the reporter on this? I want to make sure I give him credit. This is from Vice Sports, and because I'm me, when it clipped the article, it didn't clip the person who wrote the article, but it's from Vice Sports. Now, and that police report was according to Chris Rivermore of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Now, this is the part, again, where the discrepancies come in. There is a videotape out, and of course, TMZ has the videotape. The video footage of Sefolosha being manhandled by the police shows a fracas occurring not a couple of feet away, not, quote, a couple of feet away from the scene of the crime, but next door to the One Oak, which is the club that they were in, One Oak, which the footage appears to confirm as the site of the stabbing. but at the intersection of West 17th Street and 10th Avenue, with Urban Theater, the High Line Park, and the glass doors of the corner building clearly in view. Now, none of that makes sense to anybody who's not from there, but this is the part that you need to hear. This, in fact, is down the street and well away from the scene of the crime. If that's not "quote unquote" clearing the area, it's worth asking what would be. So, from the videotape, these two gentlemen were with a lot of people, with this person's opinion, far enough away from the scene of the actual crime to have "quote unquote" cleared the crime scene. Yeah, we got a problem. Now the NFLPA is involved. They're gonna start investigating this because this dude is not gonna get his playoff money now because he's hurt. He's gonna be on injury reserve.
Yep, he's done. Right.
Right. Oh, and then too, after we got off the air, I read some more. He tore ligaments too. Ligament damage now. So it's not even just like it's a clean break. You put a cast on it, it'll heal in 8 to 10 weeks. No. This dude probably gonna have to he's gonna have to go through surgery, and then there's a rehab to it.
Because it's like ligament damage and all kind of stuff.
That's ridiculous, man. Yeah. And the thing that the writer of the article points out too is like, the people, the New York Police Department, they really get no benefit of the doubt. These are the same stop and frisk people. You know what I mean? So these are those guys. So you really don't get the benefit of the doubt in this matter, especially when there's a tape of 6 of y'all dudes jumping on this man and ruining the rest of his year. Now, yesterday we talked about the effect, because I don't just want to make this a situation of all dumbass police and nothing. I want to make this that type of conversation, but the effect. And what I talked about yesterday was the type of defender he is, Thabo Sefolosha, and the things that he brings to the team. From that aspect, we know he's a spot-up shooter. He's been one since his time in Oklahoma City. But today, or was it last night, wherever I got this from, I guess other people had those same questions, and people wanted to address those questions as well. So the people who smarter than I am went and they put the numbers to it, so that now I can come back today and tell you guys that basically, what I said was correct, but the factual part of it, because yesterday was my opinion, but today the facts are he's the team's third highest net. He has the team's third highest net rating. When he's on the court defensively, their rating is like 95 something, and when he's on the bench, when he's not playing, it bumps up to 103. So that's the difference that he makes. The kind of, if you want to put a silver lining on it, one of the crowd favorite guys, Ken Bazemore, he's going to get a little bit more run once the playoffs start. Ken Bazemore, build wise, probably about the same as Thabo Sefolosha. He's a much better athlete, but defensively he has some limitations. His pick and roll defense isn't as strong by the numbers, or the numbers say his pick and roll defense isn't as strong as Thabo Sefolosha's, and he's not as solid man up defensively. He likes to try to cheat and shoot passing lanes and things like that, which kind of compromises the defense when he does that, obviously. So if you're a fan, if you're a fan of basketball, or if you're just an Atlanta Hawks fan, these are things that you might want to look for as the team finishes up these last 3-4 games and heads into the playoffs in about a week or so. The missing piece off the bench, because everything is going to get compressed now. It's the playoffs. Every possession is going to be contested. The rotations are going to shorten up a little bit. And when you miss that he's the first guy off the bench. Like Sefolosha is the first guy off the bench. He comes in for Damari. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So to miss that, especially a guy that impacts your defense so much, it's going to take some adjustments.
Well, okay. This is the way I look at it. We were without Sefolosha from
23 games.
From December until February. I think he played his first game right after the All-Star break. So, and during that time, the Atlanta Hawks they were playing the best basketball of the season.
Well, you remember? No. They actually, after the All-Star break is when they played their worst basketball of the season, remember? Well, that's when they started giving up all them points and all that kind of stuff.
But right. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about prior to the All-Star break, when they went on that, what was it, 20 games? Right.
They played their best before. Yes, you're right.
Right. So Sefolosha was never a part of that. So I feel like while it's a luxury that, if we could have had him out on the court, it would have been great. But I don't and God understood this. I think he's one of those guys that they'll miss, but somebody will be able to replace him, though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like, defensively, he when he's played well for the Hawks. But, I got enough confidence in what they're doing that I don't think he'll be, his absence will hurt them as much as if a guy like Paul Millsap was to re-injure his shoulder or something like that, then that could be detrimental.
Well, understand as well, the other thing that he brings to the table is that playoff experience. And I don't think you can really what's the word I'm trying to say? You can't really discount that, because there's going to be times during these playoffs where the Hawks are going to find themselves in precarious situations, and it's going to take, and someone that's been there before would be a very, you got Coach Bud. Obviously, he's done his thing with the with the San Antonio Spurs, but on the court, a dude that's on the court when things start going bad, like when you let's say they go to Cleveland, and LeBron is starting to just get buck, like somebody's gonna have to calm everybody else down. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna be, it's just what it is. Every team is going to face those situations at some point, even the Golden State Warriors. It may not be in the first round, but as the competition stiffens throughout the rounds, there's going to be those times where you're going to find yourself in a hostile environment needing a win. Now, good thing for both teams, the Golden State Warriors and the Atlanta Hawks, guess what? As long as they hold serve at home, they'll be fine. Every game can go to limit. Every series can go to limit. And as long as they win at home, because they'll have the home court advantage throughout until, if you're the Hawks, until you get to the finals, you have to give up home court to obviously Golden State, who has the better record. But in your conference, you'll already have home court throughout. So that is mentally, that's a plus, and it's a hurdle that you don't have to get over if you drop games at home. But let's say you play those first two games at home, and you split with a team like, I don't know, Chicago, for example. Well, yeah, then you gotta redo the game plan now, because now you've lost home court advantage. And they were talking about the other day, this whole reversal of fortunes from last year. You mess around and outside chance, I don't have the standings in front of me anymore. Do I? Did I have those things pulled up? Outside chance, you mess around and see the Pacers, a reverse of what happened last year, where you have the first the number one or the higher seed, and they have the lower seed. Team like that, who's been relatively hot since the All-Star break, could pose some problems. Could be that team that you.
Well, we've seen that happen because we've seen Atlanta do it to Boston in that 8 seed. We've seen it happen. A team that has played together, has experience, and that's the one thing about the Hawks. That could be a negative for them, is that this team right here is so different, from, last year, the majority of these guys were around last year, but it's just, they don't really have that, I don't know. They don't really have the experience when it comes to going deep. You know what I mean? Because that's when the environments get more hostile, the deeper you go in the playoffs. So, we'll see.
Okay, with where are we at? With 4 games to go, the Indiana Pacers are 1 game behind the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics. So they're definitely within striking range of picking up that 8th seed. I say it every day. Every day that we do this podcast and we talk about the NBA, I'm excited about the playoffs, man. I'm excited about both sides. I'm not one of these, Debbie Downers as far as the Eastern Conference is concerned. I'm excited to see, I'm very excited to see this Atlanta Hawks team, whoever they play in the first round, because I just have a feeling that they have to be able to, for lack of a better word, put up some style points, and it's going to be hard. The article I was reading today, I started reading, I didn't even finish it, and I just thought about it right now, about the matchup, kind of breaking down the matchup between them and the Celtics. The article starts off talking about how the Hawks are basically, they're kind of limping into the playoffs, man. Dudes are got Paul with the shoulder, you got, Thabo. Isn't somebody else Isn't somebody else experiencing? Yeah, you had Dennis the other week with the toe.
Yeah, and then Jeff Teague's ankle.
Yeah.